Did you hear about the CSU story?
CSU, no.
All right. So, California State University in Los Angeles has set up segregated dorm rooms that only black people can have. The Black Student Union started protesting and said black students in Cal State LA have been and still are consistently made the targets of racist attacks by fellow students, faculty, and administration. These attacks come in many forms. Some are more overt and some are subtle. Racially insensitive remarks and microaggressions by professors and students create a learning environment that is not conducive to the overall learning atmosphere. So, they've set aside, I guess, 20 beds, and it's a 192 dorm complex where white people are not allowed. Or actually, nobody
Good.
but black people.
See, that'll be good. See, because I feel like
Separate but equal.
exactly. Thank you. Like no, but I feel like the people who would sign up for this, like think about it, the people who are like, yeah, I really got to get away from all the microaggressions. You got to put me in that special dormitory so I'll no longer get offended. Please, don't we want them in that special dormitory regardless of their race if they're that easily offended anyway? Like it sounds like it's a group of people that, regardless of their race, although they don't see things that way, that we don't want them around us anyway. Like if they're choosing to go into some sort of like protective custody so that they'll no longer be upset by some random person walking down the sidewalk or some chalk on a sidewalk.
Or subtle attacks. Unless you are being assassinated in the dark of night, there is no such thing as a subtle attack. Like, you don't go subtly attack someone. You don't. They're just trying to use the word. They do this now, where they take words that don't mean what they want it to mean, and they pretend it does. Well, they'll say, like, oh, we're being attacked every day on campus, attacked with bulletin posts that we don't care for, attacked with poorly seasoned food in the cafeteria, attacked with homework that I did not consent to do, by the way. And
Homework
it's like,
rape.
no, these aren't attacks. This is the same nonsense where they use words that don't mean what they do, and then they lessen the meaning of that word. That's the reason that, like, if someone is called a racist now, like, my first question isn't like, oh man, like, which race do they hate? It's like, are they really? Like, really? Are they racist, or did someone get a little pissy and run out of things to say, so they just threw that one and tried to make it stick? Like, that's all that it is. Like, God, how weak-willed and boring of a person do you have to be that, first of all, you tie your entire self-worth to what you are instead of who you are, and that you can't take even the slightest bit of criticism or questioning without immediately folding? Isn't that a testament to the fact that your worldview is kind of fragile and that it doesn't hold up to scrutiny and therefore should be changed?
I see
Maybe.
it similarly,
Isn't that kind of the
but
point
different.
of college, the free exchange of ideas and discourse to see which ideas emerge triumphant? Isn't that what it's supposed to be? When you have a class and they bring up a sociological perspective, you should be able to say, no, you should be encouraged to say, I disagree, and this is why. Even if it's just a foisted argument that you don't truly believe, because you're trying to further discourse. You're trying to get ideas out there. And when it's immediately shut down, then the entire point of university is moot.
I think you're wrong, and I'll tell you why. I don't think that they are saying, oh my gosh, I'm slightly offended, and they collapse. They say, aha, thank fucking God, I'm offended, and now I am in a position of power. I have a list of demands for you to execute on because I, Matthew Woodworth, have been offended. I'm going to need you to set aside a separate area of the dormitory for me and people like me who have been offended. And if you don't deal with this, this is our student union. This is our list of demands. This is what we expect from you. We will go to the press. We will go to the internet. We will Twitter and YouTube and have the world of fucking social media come down upon your ass because I am a cry bully. Right? I'm a cry bully, and I am going to just fucking push you around and scream at you and do whatever it takes to get my demands met because, for some reason, being a pussy is a position of power nowadays, and I don't like it.
Victimhood has so much power. If you can convince, in this day and age, being a victim is one of the most, ironically, powerful positions you can have because discourse has been so eroded by the use of terms instead of actual ideas. If let's say I disagree with person X on Twitter, and it turns out that person X had been molested as a child or something like that. If I disagree with one of their political positions or something, now it's not about which one of our positions is correct. It's about the fact that person was molested, and how dare you talk to them about their weird stance on abortion or immigration without taking into account that you have to walk on eggshells. You have to walk on eggshells with everything because they've been victimized in the past. Like, that's maybe not the best example, but anything to do where you can co-opt that victimhood It's the exact opposite of victimhood. It's like, I was going to say almost like a humble brag kind of vibe, where it's like, I'm such a victim, and because I'm such a victim and so powerless, I need everybody to flock to my aid. You know, I couldn't possibly defend myself. I need all of Twitter behind me. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just gross to watch, because you know that most of those people doing it know exactly what they're doing. They're not stupid. They enjoy the fact that they're getting authority and power and the ability to influence people's lives because they don't like the way you said something. Not even the thing you said necessarily, the way you said something.
Yeah. Just
Don't care for it.
unnamed microaggressions are going to cause you to give me shit. Not shit, give me stuff. Like, going to cause you to bow to my will because there are microaggressions that, kind of rub me the wrong way.
No, you can't say that. I don't think wealth, personally, I don't think wealth and genetics have anything to do with each other, actually. If you're born in the U.S., it really doesn't matter the condition of your birth. Mm-hmm. What matters is what you inherit from your nurturing, from your environment, whether or not you're going, I'm just from the standpoint of having been born with little. You can always get out of that. Poverty is just.
But environment effects.
Yeah. Say you're born as one of the untouchables in India, there you are. And if you're born into the super rich, there you are. Here, you can be born to the super rich, but 3-4 generations down the line, it's gone. That's.
Here's a stat from your show, and it says that the richest 85 people on this planet have as much money as the poorest 3.5 billion.
Yeah, right. That's on the planet, however.
It's not far off in America.
No, it isn't far off in America, but we still here don't abandon the idea that it isn't finite. Yeah. It isn't finite if you were born. Where were you born?
Me?
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge General Hospital.
Baton Rouge.
There you go.
Louisiana. I was born in Memphis, Tennessee. I had a long haul from where I came from to here, but here we are.
Right.
So the proof of the pudding is in the eating, and here we sit at the dining table.
But it's hard to, when you say that to some people, because they say, oh, there you go with a pull yourself up by the bootstraps thing, and you're just being respectable. Not everybody can do that.
Well, everybody can. Everybody doesn't. Courage is the key to life itself. There are a lot of people who are born in situations where they say, well, I'll never get out of this. So they won't. I say to people who say, well, I would like to have done so and so and so. So, well, you could have done it. So, well, I couldn't get out of here. Well, man, the bus runs every day.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
If you can conceive it in your mind.
If you can think of it, you can do it. That's the human condition. If we can imagine it, we can do it.
Right.
And I think that's the condition of each individual human.
Right. So the whole thing, especially the president and Democrats now are talking about income inequality, and that's basically what, when you talk about the richest 85 people on the planet, right?
Yeah.
It's income inequality. Do you think that's, looking at, what's happening in the news now, is that a good idea?
It's a great idea. It is the greatest idea. We have a much more vibrant society when we don't have such a vast chasm between the haves and the have-nots. We need that middle ground that we call the middle class, the people who buy everything, people who use the products that the rich are creating, if they're creating anything other than wealth, right?
Right.
So it's what's happening with the Chinese economy right now. They're changing their whole outlook because they need consumers.
Yeah.
And without a middle class, you're not going to have consumers. You're not going to have it at the level that we normally would have it.
So can I go back to, because I thought what you said was fascinating, because you called it bull when you said people can't, pull themselves up. Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. You and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that. It's kind of like religion to me. It's a good excuse for not getting there.
Yeah. You know, I said, and it's probably get me in trouble, but I said to some of my colleagues recently, so I know that it's an issue, but it seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle, it's in the news, but sometimes I get so tired of talking about it, I want to just go, this is over, can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it exists and we refuse to talk about it, but making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is a problem we have.
Those out there with a melanin deficiency, it is not the job of black women to explain to you all in nauseam the ramifications of racism and white supremacy. We are not obligated to educate you on our oppression that we have to experience daily, that you benefit from on the daily. It's not our job. You are not entitled to our time. You are not entitled to our labor. You are not entitled to our kindness. Bitch, you're not even entitled to a sliver of the sidewalk when we're walking outside. You're not